If I wanted to get lean in the next 10 weeks, these are the exact 10 things I would do every single day. I've used these exact principles on myself and helped hundreds of men transform their physiques. So let's get the day started. So before we get on with the day and the points that I'm going to mention, the first and probably most vital point is going to be stop guessing your calories. The most crucial part of these 10 weeks is going to be to stop guessing what you're eating and just hoping that something will change. Most people who are struggling to get lean are either eating way too much without realizing it or slashing their calories way too low and making it impossible to stick to. Before you start worrying about workouts, supplements, or fancy meal plans, you need to figure out how much food your body actually needs. Set a calorie target that puts you in a moderate deficit, ensuring you hit your protein goal, and make the rest of the calories up from carbs and fats. Firstly, you want to find your maintenance calories. Just use an online calorie calculator based on your age, height, weight, and activity levels. Then what you want to do is reduce your calories by about 200, as this will create enough of a deficit for you to start to see some change without feeling like you're overdoing it. Make sure you're prioritizing protein, so aim for 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilo of body weight, and this is going to allow you to preserve muscle and stay satiated. Avoid making the mistake of slashing your calories too low from the start. All this is going to do is make your body work against you. You're going to get more fatigued, your recovery is going to suffer, and your performance in the gym is going to drop. Make sure you're monitoring your progress and start to adapt calories if progress stalls. If your weight starts plateauing and stops trending downwards, then simply reduce your calories or increase your activity. So the first thing I'll do every day without fail is weigh myself on the scales. I'll make sure I'm fasted and I've not even had any water to drink yet. Weighing yourself is going to be one of the best ways to ensure that you're monitoring your progress. Data drives decisions. Weighing yourself every day is going to create predictability. It's going to allow you to assess how you're doing and therefore allow you to know what you need to do regarding nutrition and training. That is why a lot of people benefit from having a coach, because not only are they weighing themselves, they're also checking in with their coach, creating that accountability and that structure on a week-to-week basis. And it's why I've seen so many of my clients achieve incredible life-changing results. Next up, progress pictures. Now, I will do these on a weekly basis, not on a daily basis. The reason for that is because scale weight fluctuations can happen day to day, which is why I do it every morning, but visual changes are more likely to show more change one week to the next. Now, why do I take pictures? Because you cannot always rely on scale weight. Scale weight can be influenced by many factors, including stress, when you had your last meal, how your recovery levels are. Some weeks you might have dropped a little bit less, but look a little bit better on your pictures. So it's always good to have them for reference. Next up is going to be this. You guessed it, getting your steps in. This is going to be one of the single best ways for you to be able to increase your calorie burn and therefore put you in a better position to be able to drop weight and drop body fat. This is commonly overlooked when people head into a fat loss phase or just trying to get a little bit leaner, is they think right away, okay, I'm gonna have to do hours of cardio, I'm gonna have to get on the treadmill, get on the Stairmaster and spend ages there. What you need to understand is if your daily step count has been, say, 4,000, something as simple as adding another 2,000-3,000 onto that step count per day across the week is going to total to much more expenditure, higher calorie burn, and therefore, like I said, allow you to drop body fat easier. Now, I think that this is one that everyone can do. For instance, yes, it's first thing in the morning. I'm lucky enough to be out in a field getting my steps because I'm able to work from home. But back in the day when I used to work in an office, my commute would include a train, but then it would include a walk. And even then, in my lunch break, I would also get out and go for a walk around the city just to build up that step count. So like I said, it's one that's commonly overlooked, one that's so easy to do. It requires no equipment, no special features or anything like that. As simple as this, get out and get your walks done. So the way I will break my steps up will be on this morning walk. It helps having a dog, I will say that, because he has to get out. On this morning walk, I'll get 4,000. And then before my session on the treadmill, I will get around 2,000. And then I'll go for another walk in the afternoon with the dog and get another 4,000, which will equate to 10,000 steps total. When it comes to your training, make sure you keep lifting heavy. Resistance training should be your priority. The biggest mistake I see made time and time again is swapping lifting heavy for endless cardio and lifting light weights. All this is going to do is make you skinny fat and keep you small. It's the biggest misconception ever. Oh, I'm dieting, I'm trying to drop body fat, therefore I must be getting weaker. Your training intensity should not change for at least the first month to 2 months of your dieting phase. Not only is this going to allow you to continue building muscle whilst you're losing body fat, it's actually going to make you look bigger. As you become a little bit leaner, the detail and the lines to your physique become more prominent, meaning if you're carrying more muscle and you continue building muscle in the phase, you're going to look bigger. It's an observation that's usually made when anyone is commenting on a client result of mine that they've seen. They say, why is the guy in the second picture bigger than the guy in the left picture when he's actually lighter in the second picture? The reason for that is there's more detail, conditioning, lines, definition to the physique when he's lighter, and he's made sure to keep training hard and keep building muscle in the phase. As much as your goal in a fat loss phase should be to drop body fat, it should also be to retain or grow as much muscle as possible. Muscle is what's going to give you that lean, athletic look, so make sure you fight to keep your strength. The single best way to make sure you're actually staying strong is by logging your workouts and logging the weights that you're lifting. So we are currently on the Surge app. This is the app that I have all of my clients on, but I also have myself on here so that I can log my actual workouts. As you'll see here, doing a lat pull down, the benefit of logging is it tells you what you did the previous week. So for example, 52 kilos for 8 reps. I've improved on that this week to do 56 kilos for 8 reps. So that in itself is already telling me that I've progressively overloaded and I've done everything possible in the gym to make sure I'm continuing to build muscle. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean you need to be getting stronger on every single exercise, every single workout, but just make sure you put an emphasis on not regressing and at least maintaining the lifts you were doing, or at least trying to improve on them to a certain extent. All right, just pulled up to Aldi. I've got a few bits to get. I'm gonna run you through what I get in a second. It's just a bit more of a top up. It's not a full-on food shop, but yeah, if anyone has been watching my recent videos, I've been loving Aldi. It's been becoming pretty much the staple shop for me. Prices are great and it's got everything that I need, so let's go. So these are the bits I've just got from the shop. So like you see here, I've been sensible with my choices. So plenty of veg. This one I wanted to give an honorable mention to. These are the slightly more expensive cherry tomatoes that you can get in Aldi, but the reason I want to mention them is because they taste absolutely incredible. Like, I actually snack on them, and I know it sounds, pathetic, but when you're on a fat loss phase and, your calories are low, you want to opt for things like this, high in volume, but low in calories is essentially what vegetables are going to be. Speaking of high in volume, we've got white potatoes as well. Now, as much as I love pasta, it's not as high in volume for the calories that you're going to get from it. So things like white potatoes are going to be, your best friend really in a fat loss phase. Next up, quite a good hack. There's egg whites here. Now, in the mornings, I'll typically have 3 eggs. And what I've been doing to reduce my calories somewhat, and what I would suggest as well, if you are looking to do the same, is I've removed 2 eggs and I've replaced those with egg whites only. I'll make like a little omelette and then I'll have an egg on the side. Higher in protein, more satiating, less fats. So that's where you're going to save some calories as well. So a pretty obvious one, protein, okay? Now, your protein's always going to stay the same. Your protein should stay the same, usually whatever phase you're in. However, I thought I'd mention it as well because it is, again, highly satiating. If you're going for your lean proteins like your chicken breast, 5% lean beef mince, again, you're saving a lot on fats and calories, but still hitting your protein targets. And of course, how can I not mention the rice cakes, 27 calories per cake, and a great snack. If you've watched my YouTube, you'll see the one that I love to make. In fact, I'm gonna make one now. Let's get into it. Right, so I'm gonna make one of my favorite snacks to have on a fat loss phase, and honestly, on any phase for that matter, because I'd love it that much. It's gonna be, followers of the channel will know, rice cakes, banana, peanut butter, honey, coconut flakes. Let's get into it. So while I make this snack, I wanted to use it as an opportunity to touch on a topic which is extremely important, which is tracking your food and weighing what you're having. Now, I find it funny how in today's society, people almost get shamed for tracking as if it's a bad thing to do or an extreme or unhealthy thing to do. However, what's better than knowing what you're putting into your body? You know, it's so easy to lose track of how much you're actually eating. In this instance in particular, in a fat loss phase, if you're having honey, for example, like I am, you could easily be eating 2, 3, 4 times more calories than you actually think you are by not weighing it and just sort of doing a drizzle. And that is, you know, one of the biggest issues I see is people often underestimate how much they're eating. And it's very popular nowadays on social media to do those videos where people will show you one plate of pasta versus another plate of pasta and show you that there's double the calories in one than the other. And that's a good way of showing it. But it's just a case of making sure you log everything, of course, as I've spoken about already in this video, but also track everything as you go. And for anyone who hasn't done this previously, once you implement this, it will be one of the easiest and fastest ways for you to create consistent fat loss. So like you've seen I've been doing there, the easiest way to track will be, I've put the rice cakes onto the plate and onto the scales. I've zeroed out the scales, and then I simply add the toppings as I go, and then I know exactly how much I'm adding. So each time you go, every component you add, make sure you zero out the scales, like I said, and then add. See, a lot of people might think that's, what do you think, around 5 grams of honey? That's 10 grams there. It's so easy. If I just eyeball that, I probably would have done more and would have ended up consuming about double the amount of calories. All right, I'm gonna be making some dinner now. Top tip here is gonna be to always plan your meals around protein. It's gonna be the best way to remove the guesswork. What I will always say is just pick one lean protein. So, you know, tuna, white fish, chicken, lean beef mince, and then choose a carb and choose a source of vegetables and then combine it. So what I'm doing tonight is gonna be chicken breast. I'm gonna be doing some sweet potato, and then I've got some greens over there, so courgettes and tender stem broccoli, and it just makes a really delicious meal. I'll probably show it at the end as well. But yeah, there's tons you can make. If you enjoy pasta, you can do like a tuna pasta, a chicken pasta, add some veg in there. So it's super easy. I think it's an area which people kind of get confused with, where they don't really know how to come up with a meal. Aim to get a protein source in there, build the rest of the meal around it. I always go for a general rule of thumb of 30 grams of protein per meal. That's in order to help me get to my goals. It is true that certain meals, for example, the one you saw previously, which was the rice cakes, will be predominantly carbs. And that's because I've spaced them around my training windows to either give me energy before the gym or to replenish my glycogen stores that I've depleted in the gym. Outside of that, high protein meals. All right, so you might have seen there, I've done 2 sweet potatoes, and same thing here, I'm gonna be doing 2 chicken breasts. And the reason for that is because I'm prepping for tomorrow. And this has to be, I mean, I know I'm saying every one of these points is like one of the most important, but my God, this has to be one of the most important points, honestly, for you know, having a successful fat loss phase, or just having a successful physique development journey, is not relying on motivation when it comes to your food, not relying on guesswork. Like everything, make sure you're prepared. You take out the thinking, there's no excuses. Me having this meal ready tomorrow is gonna leave nothing to chance. It means I cannot deviate from the plan, and I guarantee myself results. What you've been seeing in this video is the less decisions you have to make, the more successful you're gonna be in your physique journey. It's as simple as that. And so many other areas come into this as well, you know? If you have your gym bag ready, say you go into work to an office and you train before the office, or you train after the office, whatever it might be. If you have your gym bag ready the day before, chances are you're gonna get that gym bag in the morning and you will be going to the gym. If you wake up and you're in a rush and you've got to think about what clothes to put in the bag, what supplements to take, your water, etc., you might be missing that session. And I'm not even talking about, you know, planning just your training days. Plan your rest days as well. If you've got a schedule and a workout plan that tells you that you are resting on a Wednesday, then you know that the Monday and Tuesday session will get done because you've got a rest day at the end of it. It's almost like a bit of a reward. So, you know, make sure you plan time for rest as well. It's all about, you know, making sure you're prepared and not leaving anything to chance. All right, dinner is served. Just look at that plate. And I am absolutely starving. And it got me thinking, that's another big point to bring up, is you're going to get hungry in a fat loss phase. Okay, the sooner you get used to it, the sooner you'll see results. And the reason I say that, it sounds like such a simple point, but it's one that's commonly overlooked, and I think it needs to be mentioned. Like, I think a lot of people think this is meant to be super easy. Like, to a certain extent, yeah, it can be relatively easy, and yes, you can still see results without absolutely going to an extreme, but a little bit of hunger is usually a sign that things are working. You're not going to drop body fat and you're not going to get lean without feeling a little bit hungry, and I can almost guarantee you that. I'm a big fan of having a balance and making sure that you make life easy and you make it manageable and sustainable, but at the end of the day, it's going to take a little bit of work, a little bit of sacrifice, and a little bit of hunger. So with that, I'm going to outro the video here, and I want to leave you on this note and really hammer home that getting lean and fat loss isn't rocket science. It's about doing the small, simple things over and over and over. And of course, like I said many times, making sure you have direction and you have a purpose to what you're doing. And always remember, simple works. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.